Martin, tonight an overwhelming show of strength and support as thousands form a human chain along Yonge Street in solidarity with ongoing protests underway in Iran.
First woman-led counter-revolution to bring down the Islamic regime that has been terrorizing its own people for 43 years.
Personal stories from people protesting in Toronto, plus a look at the Global Day of Action. And
we'll be staying inside and not driving anywhere.
It's difficult for everybody, not just me.
And if you need to fill up, now is the time. More pain at the pump is on the way. How much gas is going up?
Ready for some fun? Yeah. Hey.
And it's Halloween weekend with all sorts of spooky events back and in person, from fundraisers to costume competitions, including one for the dogs.
This is CBC Saturday News.
Thanks for joining us. We'll have those stories in a moment. But first, we're tracking developing news from overseas. Officials in South Korea say at least 149 people are dead after a stampede at a Halloween event in Seoul. It was chaos as emergency crews came rushing in to help. At least 150 other people are injured, some in serious condition. CBC News reporter Neil Herland has the latest.
South Korean media are calling it a Halloween nightmare. A busy nightclub district is now the center of a terrible tragedy. At least 146 people are dead, killed in a stampede crush. Another 140 more are injured, and some of those seriously injured people may not survive in hospital. It is now well past midnight in South Korea, and this tragedy happened in the Itaewon district of Seoul. An estimated 100,000 people were celebrating Halloween on a Saturday night in the area. It happened near the Hamilton Hotel, which is a major party spot in Seoul. Early reports suggest a small group of partygoers was crushed by a large crowd pushing forward on a narrow street. But as victims started to fall to the ground, the mass of the crowd pushed more people down, humans tumbling one on top of another like a series of dominoes. This was the biggest gathering of people since the recent lifting of COVID pandemic restrictions, a night many young people were anticipating. In fact, we're now told that the largest cohort of victims is people in their 20s. Some of the victims on the ground and bystanders performing CPR, they were wearing Halloween costumes. The fire chief in Seoul says some of the bodies were taken to hospital and the remaining ones are now being transported to a nearby gym so workers can identify them. More than 400 emergency workers have been deployed. They were seen performing CPR to people in the streets. They're also covering the dead bodies with blue sheets. The president of South Korea has called a series of urgent meetings with his top aides. The mayor of Seoul was in Europe. He's now decided to return home in the wake of this tragedy. Canada's foreign minister Melanie Joly tweeted, "Awful news coming from Seoul. Canada offers its deepest condolences to the families and friends of those killed during yesterday's Halloween festivities and wishes a speedy recovery to those injured. To our friends in South Korea, we stand with you during this difficult time."
That's Neil Herland reporting for us from the newsroom. Well, to the other big story we're following tonight, a global day of action in support of Iranian protesters. The overarching message at rallies held around the world this weekend: you are not alone. Meg Roberts begins our coverage.
Chants for freedom for Iran echo around Toronto's Dundas Square as tens of thousands of protesters line Yonge Street for more than 25 kilometers.
We're all fighting for freedom, but our heroes are back home.
The human chain protest here in Toronto, just one of several seen across the world today and in other major cities in Canada.
It's unbelievable. Even 2 months ago, I couldn't imagine this crowd on the streets. Now people are not scared and people are motivated to come on the streets like this.
For many of those lining the streets, it's personal.
All my family in Iran, and we can't do anything, unfortunately, but this way at least we can tell the world what's going on in Iran.
Protesters and organizers saying today's demonstration is also meant to put pressure on the Canadian government to take action against Iran's leaders. Justin Trudeau joining in on the rally in Ottawa today, reiterating his stance on the Iranian government.
Even Years from now, when perhaps there will be a change of regime and things will be better in Iran, those people responsible now will never be forgotten, will never be allowed into Canada.
Iran's Revolutionary Guard issued a stark warning on Saturday, saying it will be the last day of protests in the country. The threat is concerning for Iran experts.
We have yet to see the full extent of the regime violence unleashed. And what worries me is that we're getting closer and closer to more violence, not that it hasn't been violent enough.
Protesters in Toronto say no matter what happens on the streets in Iran, there will be voices that continue to speak up across the world.
Until we get what we want, we won't go anywhere. We'll stay here. We support people of Iran.
Meg Roberts, CBC News, Toronto.
As you just saw in Meg's story, thousands of Iranian Canadians lining up, taking part in that human chain, watching what's happening in their home country from a distance. Tyler Cheese also spending the day on Yonge Street, listening to their stories.
I'm out here on Yonge Street, just south of Steeles Avenue. This human chain runs all the way down Yonge Street. The crowd is lively. You can hear horns honking their support in the background. And I've been talking to people in the crowd about what's brought them out today.
They're killing young people in Iran. And I'm here to say why you are doing something like this. They are innocent people.
Western politicians were thinking that people are only a minority portion of people are against the Islamic regime. It's very important that they see that the Canadian, Iranian also support everything that is happening in Iran now.
For me, it's important to tell my people that they are not alone. We are with them. We are with them from far, far away. And when we see news, when we see everything's happening there, we just feel like them and we want to do as much as possible for them.
We need the Canadian government to be able to give us freedom of speech, not only in person, but also on social media. A lot of people, activists who are working on social media to raise awareness are getting shadow banned. And we need companies like Facebook, Instagram, we need these social media powerful companies to be held accountable.
Every day, children, women, men, they are being killed, tortured, raped by Iranian government, and we are trying to just echoing their voice here in Canada because we are in a safe place.
The people of Iran are expressing that this is a revolution, the first woman-led counter-revolution to bring down the Islamic regime that has been terrorizing its own people for 43 years. These people have not died. These people are being killed. They are being tortured. They're being raped. We need to say Mahsa Amini was killed. She was murdered by the Islamic regime.
Talking to all these people today, it's clear what's brought them out. They want their voices to be heard both here in Canada and around the world. They really want people to understand what's going on in Iran, and they want the Canadian government to do more to support the Iranian people. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
In other news tonight, a man is in life-threatening condition after a crash in Brampton this morning. It happened just after 9:30 by Bramley and Avondale. Peel police say a man riding his bike was hit by a vehicle. The driver did remain on scene. So far, no word on any charges. The intersection is still closed in all directions. Meantime, York police have laid multiple charges against a 46-year-old dump truck driver after a brother and sister were killed in a crash in Markham earlier this month.
He should be accountable for what he did. That's the main thing. But of course, it's not going to replace anything. It has to be a warning for the other heavyweight truck drivers.
It happened near Markham Road and Elson Street on October 12th when the dump truck hit the victim's car. The siblings, aged 21 and 23, died in the crash. Their funeral was last weekend. Another passenger, their mother, was critically injured. The family says she's expected to have surgery within a few days and remains in hospital. The Vaughan man has been charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving causing death and dangerous driving causing bodily harm. Switching gears now, a heads up for drivers. If you're getting low on gas, one expert say now is the time to fill up. As Dahlia Ashry shows us, prices at the pump are expected to climb significantly.
Rising prices at the pumps means a rise in frustrated drivers.
It feels awful.
This Uber driver is disappointed. He fills up his tank every 2 days, which costs him up to $70. Today,
If you want to refill our tank, it's going to be $90 for everybody, not just me.
this university student commutes to London, Ontario once a month.
I have to fill it up quite a bit. Very much sucks. I'm dropping a lot more money than I usually am.
It's costing her $50 to fill up only half her tank. With prices expected to go up this week,
I will be staying inside and not driving anywhere.
Or switch to one of these, an electric bike.
So you can go really far distances for hardly anything.
Virginia Block is the founder of this local electric bike shop. She's also a member of Toronto's Electric Riders Association. She says in the past year, she's seen up to a 20% spike in buyers. And it's a similar story across the province.
Because of gas, I would say across Ontario, it's probably about a 10% increase. I'd say about a 10 to 15%.
Although temperatures are milder right now,
what is going to drive prices higher, though, will be colder weather.
He says prices could go up to $2 a liter by January. Perry Sohi is the owner of this local gelato shop.
It's been difficult.
While gas prices fluctuate, the cost of diesel has remained around $2 a liter since the summer. And for this business owner, it meant putting a pause on deliveries, something he can't afford to do this winter.
There's a huge rise in demand for our product in terms of getting home deliveries over the winter time. Unfortunately, we don't have a choice right now but to deal with the inflation and absorb that cost.
The price at the pump today is $1.80, and McTagg predicts it could go up to $1.85 this week. So he says now is the time to fill up. And with a 2-day heads up, McTagg says that could save you up to $8. Dahlia Ashry, CBC News, Toronto.
Gas is getting more expensive, and more bad news, so is car insurance. This year, more than 24 companies in Ontario received regulatory permission to raise premiums. It's a trend some experts say will likely continue.
Probably heard about the cost of rental cars, the cost of used cars, the cost of new cars. Everything's going up. This means that, if your car is in an accident and the insurance company has to replace it, they're paying more money to do that, right? If they have to get you a rental car, they're paying more money to do that.
If you looked at changes in insurance premiums in the past, they went up every year. It's only because every year it costs more to repair vehicles. Every year it costs, that medical inflation, which factors into auto insurance. So we're going to go back to, I think, regular increases.
Experts say there are some ways you can try to lower your monthly premium. Shop around for the lowest price, bundle home and auto insurance, or increase your deductible. And with winter just around the corner, many companies offering a discount if you have winter tires. Canada's largest research hospital is getting a huge donation to transform emergency care for older adults. The John and Myrna Daniels Foundation is giving $52 million to the UHN, money to develop Canada's first emergency medicine department, specifically for seniors.
Approach geriatric patients and older adults in a different way, and recognize their unique physiologic requirements and also their social requirements. The system that we designed today is a system we're going to rely on in the future.
He says the space will be designed understanding seniors' unique needs. The new center is expected to open in 2025 at Toronto Western Hospital. It is Halloween weekend, and TTC is opening its doors to a spooky abandoned station to raise money for United Way.
We have a spooky train, a haunted train for kids and everyone here to go through. This is an amazing event, Halloween Fest. It's the first one that we've ever held here.
TTC welcoming people into Lower Bay Station. Normally that's not open to the public, offering tours and candies to trick-or-treaters and a bit of history on the unused subway platform. The event goes again tomorrow. There's an entrance fee of $5 for adults, $2 for kids, money going to the United Way. Sophia Poppins, look at you in full gear.
It's never too early for a Halloween costume, and you can't deliver, Shannon, a Halloween forecast if you don't have a costume. It's an unwritten forecaster rule.
There you go. Take it
I couldn't
away.
be Sophia with you today. Then why not be the OG weather forecaster, Mary Poppins? So Mary, I blew in on the east wind that came in this past week with all those fall storms. But I gotta tell you, the weather today was practically perfect in every way. No need for the umbrella, but I wanna tell you about the rest of the weather forecast, folks, and get to your Halloween forecast. For that, I need my clicker. No, sugar, not that. Let's see, a spoon, here it is. We begin this story with the winds. They are very light. What does a light, warm wind have to do with Halloween? There's a word for it. Starts with supercalifragilistic. No, it's fog, folks. And frost, that's the word for what'll be happening into the overnight period tonight, but there's only up to go after a chilly overnight period into Sunday. Your Sunday daytime high will be lovely, but unfortunately, Shannon, I'll be back with the details and more Halloween fun. You might need this for trick-or-treating.
Oh my gosh, you nailed it.
And if, thank you. And if Mary Poppins says it, it's gotta be true, right?
Yes, a spoonful of sugar. All my childhood memories are coming back.
I've been singing the songs all day. Just wait, folks, we have a lot of Halloween fun. Shannon and I have a lot of Halloween fun planned for you this weekend.
Yes, we're heading into the break now. We'll see you shortly. A big weekend for competitive swimming in Toronto. For the first time since 1988, the city is hosting the FINA Swimming World Cup Series. More than 450 athletes from 37 countries are taking part. Our Devin Haru is poolside for all the action.
And Shannon, home pool advantage is real, and the Canadians are loving it. 9 medals on opening night. This place was rocking. The Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre has been such a key part of this program. Many people calling this a golden era for Canadian swimming. And at the heart of it, 16-year-old Summer McIntosh from Toronto. It seems every time she's in the pool, she's breaking records. That's exactly what happened on opening night, going up against a great American swimmer, Katie Ledecky. It was a riveting race in the 400-meter freestyle. Back and forth they went, the crowd roaring. And in the end, it was a 16-year-old McIntosh who had a little more in the tank, edging out Ledecky in a time of 3:52.80. That is a World Junior record, a World Cup record. It is the second fastest time ever in the event. McIntosh was somewhat in disbelief at her performance, but believe it, she is for real. She'll be back in the pool here tonight. There was also a Canadian podium sweep in the 50-meter backstroke event. Maggie McNeil winning gold, Kylie Moss silver, Ingrid Wilm bronze. They want the medal rush to continue here tonight and into Sunday. Tonight, McIntosh back in the pool. She'll swim in the 400-meter IM. She won gold in that event at Worlds. Kylie Moss looking to win gold in the 100-meter backstroke event. Perhaps there could be another Canadian podium sweep in the backstroke event. And Maggie McNeil, who won gold in the 100-meter fly at the Tokyo Olympics, swimming in the 50-meter fly. Expect the medals to continue to come for the Canadians, and Shannon, fans can watch it all on cbcsports.ca and CBC Gem.
That's our Devin Haru reporting for us from beside the pool. Well, turning to some international stories now, Russia says it's withdrawing from the agreement that allowed Ukrainian grain to be exported from ports on the Black Sea. Russia says it's in response to a Ukrainian drone attack today. Ukraine says there was no attack and accuses Russia of trying to trigger an artificial famine. Officials say a number of people are killed or wounded in Somalia's capital after 2 car bombings. Both were outside the Education Ministry building. One ambulance driver and a first aid worker were among the wounded. No one has claimed responsibility. Well, stay with us. We're heading into a quick break now, but we're back in 2 minutes. Bargain hunters beware. In Etobicoke today, a community is shopping together to help support a local school.
The funds that are going to be raised today are going to help us to replenish some of our technology, as well as bring back some arts performances that we've really been missing during the pandemic.
We have a lineup at 8:30 because people know we start at 9, and the real yard salers, which is a specific breed of person, they're here early.
This is the Mimico Halloween yard sale, and all proceeds go to David Hornell Junior Public School. There was face painting, pumpkin carving, and more. It took place in the school gym where people bought books, clothes, home goods, and other treasures.
On the dog, and Chelsea's the mystery bus.
My little stinker. She's a skunk, obviously.
I tried to be a tree, and Ruby is a pile of leaves. So she's falling for me. That's the idea.
Dozens of adorable dogs dressed up in their best costumes today for Halloween. The event was hosted at the Bentway, where there was a costume contest for these furry pals from Lions, R2-D2, and that hot dog. Halloween is in full swing. Sophia Poppins, this was the best I could do.
Halloween.
Can you see?
Everybody, Shannon and I are going to a Halloween party after. Would you like to invite us? We have no plans as of yet, but we're dressed.
You know what? We're in the
Ready to
spirit.
go.
I was thinking I should have got a hat to be Bert to your Mary.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
This is professional, I figured.
We might need some chimney sweeps in the forecast as well. But first, I got a dog Halloween joke that just popped up in my head with the vein of your Halloween. What do you call a dog that celebrates Halloween? Werewolf. I'm using that because I've already run out of all my cheesy Mary Poppins jokes, but you might need the chimney sweep into the overnight period for frost on your car. Is that a thing? Only up to go from here, though, folks, for your Sunday forecast. It will be above the daytime high. You'll have a little bit less sunshine than today, though. The clouds will pool in. Sunday overnight, the winds are brewing from the east, of course, if Mary Poppins is telling you that. And yes, we have some spooky rain coming for Halloween, so I have dressed the part. But here's the thing, Halloween day, yes, there will be on and off showers, but it will not be a washout. There will be some showers for the trick-or-treaters, but with all that cloud cover, it will keep things quite balmy. So Monday evening, it's 10, 11, even 13 degrees, depending on where you are. The rain will be light. It continues on Monday evening and into Tuesday, but here's a couple other good news tidbits from Mrs. Poppins herself. You will have some warmer temperatures this upcoming work week, and we are still awaiting, Shannon, the latest frost and the latest 20-degree day, which we might still make. So we are still in that warm regime. We won't need this for too long in the upcoming forecast. And folks, we have more Halloween fun for you tomorrow.
Yes, I know. They're thinking it's only Saturday. What are they up to? But just wait.
It's never too early.
We have more tomorrow.
Just wait. Happy Halloween, everybody, for all you little ghouls and goblins and little devils as well.
Yes.
Devilish fun. When every job there must be done, there's a little bit of devilish fun.
She's
Best I got.
she's
Best
on
I
it,
got.
guys. That's it for
Back
us.
in the
We want to
bag.
leave you with the dogs. They get the final word tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.